Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
Cowboys aiming to finalize Dak Prescott extension before CeeDee Lamb. With minicamp now in the books, the period leading up to Cowboys training camp will be dominated by progress on extension talks for Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons. The latter is under contract for 2 more years, so he is not as pressing of a financial priority this summer. Prescott has firmly remained in Dallas plans beyond the 2024 campaign, one in which he is set to carry a cap hit of $55.13. With no tag and no trade clauses in his deal, last season's MVP runner-up has plenty of leverage in a potential bid to reach the top of the quarterback market. A report from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler earlier this month indicated the Cowboys are set to make a strong offer to keep Prescott in the fold. To little surprise, that has placed the 30-year-old at the top of the pecking order in terms of lucrative Dallas extensions. Fowler noted in a recent SportsCenter appearance that the Cowboys want to work out the Prescott Accord before those of Lamb and Parsons. Video link. Such an approach would come as little surprise, considering the respective cap situations of the 3 players and the nature of the quarterback as opposed to receiver and edge rush markets. Prescott is a candidate to set a new standard in terms of annual average compensation on his next deal. Both Joe Burrow, Bengals, and Trevor Lawrence, Jaguars, are currently at $55 in that regard. The former 4th-rounder has publicly stated that his latest round of negotiations will not be as centered on finances as the last one, and the extent to which that holds true will be a key factor in this process. As Fowler confirms, the Cowboys have not yet aggressively engaged in extension talks with Prescott. If that continues for the time being, Lamb will be left to wait for serious negotiations of his own. The 3-time Pro Bowler did not take part in OTAs or mandatory minicamp as he continues to seek out an extension. Lamb has seen Justin Jefferson reset the top of the receiver market with his $35 per year Vikings pact, and his own value could be similar. Given the surge in lucrative receiver packs signed by other top producers at the position recently, Lamb will have significant leverage after any potential Prescott deal is hammered out. Of course, new agreements for either member of that pair will have to be made with Parsons in mind as well. Under contract in 2025 via his 5th-year option, Parsons is aiming to usurp Jefferson as the league's top-paid non-quarterback. The resources Dallas has available to meet that goal, likely next offseason, will largely depend on the progress made with Prescott and Lamb in that order during the near future. Dallas Cowboys vinculado ao ex Green Bay Packers 5x All-Pro por Dak Prescott. The Dallas Cowboys are entering an important season that could very well determine the immediate future of their franchise. All-Pro wide receiver CeeDee Lamb was not at OTAs or mandatory minicamp as he awaits a new contract. While the Cowboys almost certainly want him signed for the long term, one has to wonder how the ongoing contract negotiations will affect his relationship with the organization. Franchise quarterback Dak Prescott, too, is up for a contract extension. Again, the Cowboys certainly would like to lock up the 3-time Pro Bowler for the long term, but the quarterback market is going crazy right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars just gave Trevor Lawrence $55 million per season, so one has to assume that Prescott will command even more, perhaps becoming the first player to make $60+ million per year. Head coach Mike McCarthy also has some serious questions regarding his future with the Cowboys. After a 1-3 record in the NFL playoffs since his arrival, Dallas is not sure if he is the right man for the job going forward. He enters the 2024 NFL season as a lame duck head coach, needing a deep postseason run and/or a Super Bowl win to earn a second contract with the team. The Dallas Cowboys offense has some holes. The Cowboys have some excellent players on offense, including Prescott and Lamb. In addition to these all-pro level players, they have Brandon Cooks at wide receiver, Jake Ferguson at tight end, and the legendary Zach Martin at right guard. However, they also lost some notable players to free agency as well. Left tackle Tryon Smith signed with the New York Jets. Currently, the Cowboys plan on replacing the future Hall of Fame left tackle with rookie Tyler Guyton. This is a tremendous risk for a team that, in essence, does not have a true primary running back. Ezekiel Elliott may be back, but McCarthy has stated they are going to utilize the running back by committee strategy, and may be about to give their quarterback the largest contract in the history of the NFL. Guyton could very well turn out to be a special player, but given the state of the Cowboys Cowboys and the numerous questions surrounding their biggest names, it may be wise for Dallas to find some more experience on the offensive line to protect their investments. Dallas Cowboys insider suggests they sign former Green Bay Packers left tackle David Bakhtiari. In a recent article written for Cowboys Wire, Dallas insider Reed Hansen suggests that David Bakhtiari would be a good depth. For years, Bakhtiari was the gold standard at the left tackle position. If there was one player who could rival the Cowboys' Tyron Smith as best in the league, it was him. Bakhtiari, 32, was the only player in the NFL to earn first or second team All-Pros in every season between 2016 to 2020. He was an elite run blocker and pass protector and frequently played on an island protecting for a quarterback who wasn't afraid to improvise behind him. Moving Smith from guard to LT isn't an ideal solution if Guyton struggles, and there's no telling if Woletsko or Richards would be better than a struggling Steele. Having a veteran like Bakhtiari available in relief would be far more comforting. There is the question of Bakhtiari's health. He has, after all, played in just 13 games over the past 3 seasons. However, doctors say his knee is recovering and he will be ready with no limitations by the time training camp starts. He could not say that in any of the past 3 seasons. Bakhtiari also has a history with Coach McCarthy, who was with the Packers when he was drafted. Of the 5 All-Pro teams that Bakhtiari made, McCarthy was his head coach for 3 of them. Additionally, it is not like it will cost Dallas much to sign Bakhtiari. Coming off of 3 injury-plagued seasons, he will not command more than a minimum contract. It would be a low-risk, high-reward situation. Micah-McCarthy relationship is thriving in 2024. This offseason has thus far been one dominated by talk of the CeeDee Lamb holdout, though Micah Parsons did find himself a part of the conversation when he opted to train outside of the building before eventually reporting to the Dallas Cowboys for mandatory minicamp in early June, something head coach Mike McCarthy was completely fine with. McCarthy noted, time and again, that both Lamb and Parsons remained engaged the entire time, and the latter was also in the building on more than one occasion for various reasons, e.g., meetings. It's a relationship between head coach and generational player that has blossomed over the past 3 seasons, as Parsons recently explained. "Oh man, me and Coach McCarthy are super well," said the 3-time first-team All-Pro pass rusher. Parsons spoke in great depth during minicamp regarding team chemistry and his role in it, and it appears the topic has been broached by McCarthy as well, and the two are on the same page. "We met for an hour or so just the other week," Parsons said. "I don't think people understand just how much more McCarthy is invested in me and becoming a leader, and how he thinks I value the team and where we're headed. I think McCarthy is really good, and I really value our conversations and our relationship growing more as he's been here. And I think that's very powerful to me." Prior to this offseason, it was more often Dan Quinn, former Cowboys defensive coordinator turned Washington Commanders head coach, who was the support column for Parsons, but with that having changed for 2024, he and McCarthy find themselves having grown that much closer ahead of one of the most pivotal seasons in franchise history, and the most pivotal for Parsons' young, dynamic career. As contract talks loom on the horizon, he's taken on the challenge of, when Dan Quinn left, to be that voice for me, and I really appreciate that, said Parsons. Up next for the Deepen Connection is training camp in Oxnard, set to begin the week of July 22nd and extending to August 22nd, marking the longest camp in Cowboys history. And if Parsons can continue to level up his play and to take the next step in helping to potentially lead the Cowboys to the end of their infamous Super Bowl drought, it will in part be due to what is blossoming between him and his head coach. Have you ever watched police body cam videos? I'm sure you'll like the video that appears on the screen. Click and subscribe to Sheriff Smith.